Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula. Ho, ho.
And today we're going to talk about Under Paris, a new Netflix original movie, but it's also a French extreme horror movie by the director Xavier, whose name I probably mispronounced, but you do know their work. They are the director of Frontiers, The Divide, Cold Skin, and those Hitman movies, so you've probably seen or heard of one of his movies. This movie is about a group of sharks that have decided to create a nest inside Paris's Seine, the man-made river that runs in the middle of Paris. One half of the movie is basically killer shark gore fest, and the other half of the movie is a bit of a political satire about the current state of environmental politics.
Yeah, environmental politics in France.
In France.
It has everything that you expect out of a shark movie.
Yes.
But it does not stop there.
No. It goes further.
Yeah.
It does have the patented French extreme gore in it. Probably not as much as a lot of French extremity movies, partially because most of it happens in the water. So
Yeah. So this is kind of buffer between you and the gore.
Yeah, and the gore kind of gets like spread and diluted by the water, literally.
Yeah, and it's not as much as like Piranha 3D.
There is some like wonky effects here and there, like some CGI effects, but there's also enough like practical like arms and limbs flying everywhere that it kind of makes up for it. If CGI sharks are a problem for you, then you probably haven't enjoyed any killer shark movie for the past couple decades, because ever since Deep Blue Sea, it's been basically how shark movies are made.
It's been CGI sharks the entire time.
100%. This movie is the Jaws of Deep Blue Sea films. And by that I mean, it is probably one of the best made stupid shark movies I've ever seen.
Yes. Yeah.
There is social commentary in this movie, especially the way it kind of lays into the two-faced neoliberal politicians that run Paris, as well as the kind of self-serving political activists that kind of get in the way of things more than they actually help things.
Yes.
It does lay into those things. It also lays into the bureaucratic nightmare that happens when trying to deal with a disaster. It lays into all those things. But at the end of the day, it's still also a movie about sharks that eat people.
The Jaws comparison is not without merit.
Because there is a premise of the mayor planning to open up the Seine for a competition.
Yeah, it has a shark mayor. Why would anyone do that? That thing is filthy.
Yeah, it's polluted and filthy.
Yeah.
And by the movie's own logic, filled with bombs.
Yeah.
Left over from World War II.
Yep.
So why would you have people swimming in it? That's a terrible idea.
The lengths to which, like, the mayor in particular goes to denying the shark is clearly intended to be ridiculous.
She is the most shark mayor I've ever seen in a shark movie.
Yes.
Like, she takes the mayor from Jaws, amps it up to fucking 11, and then goes, wait, hold on, I'm not stupid enough. I must go further.
Yeah, we gotta go stupider, you know?
She is shark mayor nirvana. She has reached the pinnacle of what a shark mayor could be. Yeah, shark mayor is definitely the most at fault. Partially the cops not taking it seriously from the beginning. Also majorly that one activist chick who just can't accept that the shark is actually a danger to human beings.
Yeah, the shark is evil.
Yeah.
You know, like,
who is just so fucking obsessed with saving the shark that she doesn't realize the lives that are being lost in the process. But that's the commentary the movie's kind of making. And it's actually funny. I watched this movie and then I watched the latest John Oliver that came out right after it. There is no reason for these things to be connected, but for whatever reason, John Oliver did a segment about the Seine and about how it's dirty and polluted and how the mayor's been promising about cleaning it up and that she's gonna swim on this very specific date because by then it'll be clean. The French people have responded to this by saying they're gonna shit in the Seine.
Yeah.
The day she swims in the Seine.
Yeah.
After watching that segment, I feel like I understand the politics of this movie a little bit better.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They don't fuck around.
No, they really don't. They go all the way. They will fucking riot on your ass.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not doing what
Hell
they want
yeah.
you to do. And I appreciate that. This movie is fun as hell. It is a complete blast. You're following a scientist who has encountered this specific shark before.
Yeah, so there's like kind of echoes of Jaws of the Revenge.
Yeah,
or,
she's encountered the shark before. It ate her husband. So, yeah, Jaws of the Revenge.
Jaws of the Revenge. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water.
But she is a scientist who's very aware this shark has been genetically modified by pollution. She doesn't know the extent.
It's a mutant.
Yeah, she doesn't know the extent of its modifications, but she knows that it's been modified in such a way that they can't let the thing live and breed because it will infect the rest of the shark population. So she's going up against both the environmental activists who are like, no, we must save the shark, save Harambe, essentially.
Yeah.
No, this is an invasive species. We can't let
this thing's actually like not only is it super dangerous just because it is a shark, it is extra dangerous because it is a mutant.
Absolutely. And she's going up against the politician who is running the city, who doesn't want to believe that the shark is there.
Yeah.
Because if the shark is there, that disrupts her plans, and that can't happen because the Seine must be open for swimming.
This political inclusion is kind of the equivalent of movies that included allegories to the Iraq War while it was happening.
Yeah,
You know, like...
Yeah, finding out that thing with the Seine is a current political issue happening right now in France definitely makes this movie more potent.
Yeah.
There is an aspect of this movie that almost feels like people are getting what they deserve.
Yeah.
With this killer shark.
Yes.
The killer shark is an act of nature punishing Paris
for its hubris.
For its hubris, yeah. And for most of the movie, it is one shark, but by the end of the movie, there is multiple sharks. To not get into spoilers yet, because there's some spoilers involving that.
Yeah. Well,
there's a shark's nest.
we brought up Deep Blue Sea for a reason.
Yeah. But it reminds me of Deep Blue Sea in that there is a lot of fast shark action, like there is in Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Like the shark will sometimes just swim up and just fucking snatch a person in a second.
Yeah. Like it'll like move like the fucking Flash, go by the camera, and a guy just gets ripped in half.
And there are multiple scenes in this movie that are basically recreations of the fucking Sam Jackson scene in Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Where a person is just giving some sort of speech.
And then, oh.
Yeah. You know? And it's hilarious and satisfying every time.
Yeah. This shark apparently never stops eating and never takes a shit.
No. And sometimes it doesn't actually eat.
Yeah,
it just
it
fucking
rips
slaughters.
Dudes in half. It's just like, oh, hey, this is something I can rip in half.
Yep, fuck that person. Now they're in half. I'm going to move on to this other person over here.
Yep.
There is a wholesale slaughter throughout this movie, and I was here for it. There is a secondary main character who is this, he's a cop that works the Seine unit. He's the guy that patrols the Seine, and when people aren't supposed to be in the water, he kicks them out of the water.
Yeah, I didn't even know that there was special police for that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They got little boats and everything. It's adorable. His problem throughout most of the movie is that his superior doesn't take the situation seriously, despite him and his fucking crew definitely encountering sharks.
Yeah.
The other thing I really liked about this movie is I really like the cinematography of this movie.
Yeah, it's really good looking.
It's a very colorful movie. There's a lot of bright, saturated colors when they're in the water, even when they're in the polluted water. So you can really see the part that's polluted and the part that's not. Because when you're in the non-polluted water, it's like beautiful underwater photography. But then when you're in the polluted water, it's like you can't see a foot in front of you.
Yeah. I actually really appreciated that because so often people can just kind of magically see underwater, and I hate that.
This movie probably has my favorite Chekhov's gun in a shark movie. Without saying it, it's not a Chekhov's gun to save the day. It's a Chekhov's gun for the day's about to get 10 times worse.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And the escalation of this movie, each step of the way, the movie just gets wilder and makes no apologies for it.
Yeah, no, it's just sort of like, no, this is the plot, we're doing it. It reaches mad science level.
Oh, yeah, because you're already dealing with these genetically modified sharks.
Yeah.
But it's not like they were scientifically modified by scientists.
Like scientists did it.
It was like a mutation because of pollution.
It's a mutation because of pollution that makes a shark not only super aggressive, but like massively intelligent, among other things, which are spoilers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you're just sort of like, whoa, okay, all right.
So needless to say, my fellow gorehounds, if you like a killer shark movie, this is a must-see. If you like French extremity, this is a must-see. If you like horror movies that are also political satires, this is a must-see. It is currently available on Netflix. You can watch it through Netflix.
Under Paris, ask for it by name, watch it at night, treat yourself.
Absolutely. And with that said, my fellow gorehounds, let us move on to the spoilers.
get this. The mutation not only makes the shark super intelligent, super big.
And able to swim in both fresh and salt water.
And salt water, yeah. That is what you believe is the biggest mutation.
Yeah.
Because most fish cannot do that. There are a couple, but not many.
Mm-hmm.
And then they hit you with the big one. All these sharks are born pregnant.
Yeah, they are reproducing asexually. And they're not just reproducing like, oh, this shark gave birth to one shark. They've got a fucking school of sharks inside of them.
Yeah, they come out the wound and they just start shitting out young.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
So when we say the scientist is like, no, this is an invasive species, we can't let this mutation get out, we mean that, like, if you let this shark get out, it's just gonna be shark world. There's gonna be nothing but sharks in the ocean, and everything else is gonna fucking die.
Yeah, because each shark gives birth to dozens of sharks right after giving birth.
Yup. So the main characters tried to come up with this plan underneath the mayor's nose to essentially go into the shark den underneath Paris, because they find out that it's in essentially like the catacombs.
Yeah, it's in the catacombs of Paris. Yeah.
And it's created a nest inside there, and they're gonna blow up the nest. And unfortunately, they do succeed, except the king shark survives.
Yeah.
The lead shark, the queen shark. And she goes ape shit during the swimming competition.
Yeah.
Much to the mayor's chagrin. And the mayor has brought in the military just to calm the populace. And the military just starts firing bullet after bullet at the shark, which is swimming faster than the goddamn bullets because it's a fucking mutant.
Yeah, it's got like super shark powers.
But mind you, they're shooting guns into the Seine, which, as we established earlier in the movie and earlier in this vlog, is filled with bombs left over from World War II.
This is one of those things where in the real world, you'd be like, well, what are the odds of one of them actually setting off the bomb? But in movie world, you're like 100%.
So the military ends up accidentally setting off one of those bombs, which sets off every bomb in the Seine.
It creates a chain reaction of explosions
that essentially blows up Paris and floods Paris with all the water that was in that river. And the shark lives and gives birth to more sharks and fills Paris with its shark children. Essentially, this movie ends with our main characters surrounded by sharks as it pulls out and reveals that all of Paris is just sharks now.
Yeah. All of Paris is just sharks now.
Swimming through like the subway system and shit.
Oh my God, I loved that shot because that shot feels like that bit in the episode of The Simpsons where they all catch the Osaka flu and there's like a one flu ball goes to an intersection, the light turns, another one passes.
Yep.
And then it goes by. The sharks do that. And I was like, God damn it.
This movie's essentially...
God damn it.
This movie's essentially about how the political bureaucracy not taking an environmental problem seriously literally destroys the world.
Yeah, it creates a shark apocalypse.
It's the ultimate environmental statement made in a shark movie.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the end of the movie. The sharks destroy the rest of the world.
Welcome to Shark World, baby. It's amazing.
Kevin Costner ain't gonna be able to help us out of this one.
I liked this movie, but when it got to that ending, I loved this movie.
Oh my God, that was fucking amazing.
That ending elevates the movie to like god tier status.
Yeah, because it's like, fuck it. The sharks win. They take over the world. And I'm like, I have never seen this in a shark movie before.
The shark actually winning?
Yeah, not only does the shark win, it takes over the world.
And not counting stuff like Sharknado, where it's like goofy shit. Like this.
Well, not even that. Well, those sharks didn't take over the goddamn world. They were just a natural disaster.
True.
You know, these sharks take over the fucking world.
The shark is global warming.
Yes. Yes, it is.
The scientist is begging you must stop it here. Well, I don't know if that's real. Plus, it might hurt my points in the next election if I deal with it. Well, you're gonna kill us all. And she does. She kills them all.
Yeah, the whole plan is destroyed. This is one of those movies where I'm like, man, I really want a sequel, but what would it be?
What makes it even more poetic is the Paris Accords.
Yes. Oh, I hadn't thought of that. You're right.
Yeah, the Paris Accords, where like a whole bunch of countries got together and made that agreement to like fight climate change.
Yeah, because it was a really bad thing that was going to fuck everything up.
Yep. And so that makes this movie even more poetic.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of the Paris Accords.
Yep.
Well, I bet Xavier Gens did.
Yep. Do you have any final thoughts on Under Paris?
Oh, you should watch it because the fuck. I've never seen a shark movie like this.
Yeah, I haven't either. It's got a lot of the familiar shark movie tropes, but it does enough like weird and different shit that you're gonna have a great time with it.
Yeah, like it's almost like imagine like Trolls 2, but it worked.
Nice.
You know,
nice.
but it like worked, and you're like, this movie's ridiculous. Well, yeah, it's making this really good point about vegetarianism. like if it had actually succeeded in its point.
Absolutely. And with that said, where can they find you, Count Jackula?
Oh, you can find me here on YouTube. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I often have a guest. I would love you to come down and put some money in the super chat, ask me or me and my guest any sort of questions involving horror movies, the occult. You can also ask about Transformers, because I'm a big Transformers nerd. And I also stream on Twitch on Tuesdays and Thursdays, also at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And in that one, I usually like play video games and shit. How about you?
Y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way. And if you made it this far into the video, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag SharkWorld. That way I know. That way Jack knows. That way the whole world knows that this movie has one of the best endings in a shark movie I've ever seen.
Yes.
And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, peace out, and I'll catch y'all later.
The world is a shark pile. Set to drain.